सो हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। आज ये लेक्चर 2 है हमारी मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री की प्लेलिस्ट का। तो हमने पिछले लेक्चर में लेक्चर 1 में थोड़ा डिटेल में पढ़ा कि मुगल एम्पायर कैसा था, मुगल एम्पायर ने कैसे इवॉल्व करा, मुगल एम्पायर के क्या क्या हमारे रूलर्स रहे हैं, उन्होंने कैसे अपनी जर्नी देखी। तो वो सारी चीज़ें हमने डिस्कस करी थी पिछले लेक्चर में, और हमें पता है कि हमें आगे moving forwards to Mughal Empire in later Mughals, because in modern history, as we know that our first topic starts with the house one, which is about later Mughals. So to understand how later Mughals comes into the picture, we need to understand how the Mughal Emperor declined. So the topic of our today's lecture is the decline of Mughal Empire. In this we will learn how and basically the decline happens in the in the tenure of which rulers, and what were the reason of the decline. So these are the 2 or 3 things that we are going to discuss. I have already made the slides or notes, so because this is not a very big chapter, because I really wanted the lecture to be about the later Mughals, but yeah, this one single topic was left in the last lecture. I actually wanted to complete this particular portion, this whole topic in the lecture 1 itself, but due to some time constraint we couldn't be able to. So in this lecture 2, it will be a very short lecture. It will be within 15 minutes, I guess. I'm shooting this, but I guess it will be within 15 minutes. Okay, so yeah, let's start. It is about the decline of Mughal empires. Let me take color in which things would be pretty good. Yeah, so okay, so decline of later Mughals. First, we will discuss what basically happened in the tenure of Aurangzeb that leads to decline. Uh, uh, One important thing was that there was decline in the economy of the Mughal Empire, and how and because of which reasons there was decline. It was There was decline because of Shah Jahan constructions. I told you na that Shah Jahan was very much into architecture. He was very much into architecture, and he wants to construct new buildings, Taj Mahal, and all the related buildings and architectures he had built. So it took lots and lots of money for the construction of these buildings. So yeah, this was the reason. This was one of the reason in which the majority of the funds uh, of the empire was going into the construction which was made by Shah Jahan. And yes, this leads to decline in the economy. And the second one was, as we can see that during the regime of Aurangzeb, the Mughal empire was expanding. Okay, we knew that it was taken, it was all back in south, it was here, it was everywhere. So how are they, how are they, in which sense we can say that they are taking over this place? They will obviously be having wars with the king or emperor of this particular place. So we can say that the money, lots and lots of money were being spent on this war. So this by spending these much amounts of money in lots of war, I think this is also one of the main reason in the decline of economy. So yeah, the decline that happens in the Aurangzeb tenure, it was due to decline in economy, and the two major reasons of decline in economy was, first was of Shah Jahan's construction, and second of reason was for the wars which was uh, happening at the time. So another decline was his religious policies. As we knew that in the lecture was that he brought his jizya back. I explained in the last lecture, it is about the imposing taxes on non-Muslim people. So yeah, this created some differences, and yeah, there were defections from Jats, Rajputs, Sikhs, Marathas. So yeah, these all things are problems there. There was a strong battle between Marathas and Aurangzeb. So yeah, the differences and the policies of Aurangzeb were not liked by these particular rulers. So yeah, this was also one of the key reasons of decline of the Mughal Empire in the tenure of Aurangzeb. Now, one more important thing that we need to discuss was what happened to the Mansabdari. In the last lecture, we have learned that how good the Mansabdari system was in the Akbar rule. He explained that yes, if he whenever he fought any war, and uh, if he won any war, he will not kill or dethrone the king. He says that be my Mansabdar, you expand, you develop yourself also, you get promoted, you get better salary, and be my Mansabdar. In this which way, everyone was contributed to the Akbar empire. But in the case of when the time passes, in the case of Aurangzeb, the Mansabdar system declined. And we will now discuss how this Mansabdar system declined the time of because in the last lecture we have learned how beneficial was this Mansabdar system for the economy of the Mughal Empire. But now we will see how this Mansabdar systems was one of the reason that there was decline in the Mughal Empire. Okay, so yeah, we will learn this. Look, at that particular time, because there were not enough funds, there were not enough money in for the king, there were not enough money uh, at the king's place to give salary to mansabdars. So what was happening there? So like supposedly there is a mansabdar. Okay, he is mansabdar A. He has assigned a salary of 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so the Aurangzeb gave Jagir to A, like Mr. Mansabdar A, you are getting this Jagir, and Mansabdar is saying, Aurangzeb is saying, hey Mr. A, the amount of money which you can collect from this particular land is 3 lakh rupees. Okay, he is saying an extremely inflated rate. He is saying that you can get 3 lakh rupees. Okay, so now he's Mansabdar A is happy that okay, my salary is 2 lakh rupees. So okay, I need to collect 2 lakh rupees from here, and remaining 1 lakh I will give back to Aurangzeb. So he was happy with this land, but this was not the case. The Jagir which was told to the Mansabdar A was very inflated. It was actually in the real case it was just only 1 lakh rupees. So now what happened? Like his task was to get his 2 lakh rupees plus 1 lakh back to Aurangzeb, but now he is not able to get his 2 lakh rupees. He is only able to get just 1 lakh rupees. So this was a very bad phase which was happening there, and yes, this leads to so many disputes. And whenever in any case the dispute increases, Aurangzeb has to fund the Mansabdar through his Khalisa. Khalisa is basically land of the ruler or the money of the ruler. Okay, so like at that time, if you can say that this was the land, this was the total amount of money or land of the Aurangzeb, and this were for the Jagir. So now these particular lands were expanding. Like so, we will now take this much land to repay the salary to the Mansabdar. So these all things were happening. So which was not good for the rule, but it was happening. Okay, but let me erase all this because we will need these lectures or slides when we will do or when we will do our one shots. So it will be very much important at that time. I'm just going to decrease all delete all these. Wait a minute, just wait a few minutes. I can do this afterwards, but I thought I will forget all this, so yeah, we'll just do straight away. What all things were there? इतना तो चलता है I guess. Very good. Okay, that is good. So yeah, in this not so right way, the money was given back to Jagirs. There were also zamindars. At this time, there were also zamindars which were there. Okay, so yeah, here there was one more point. Like okay, so who were zamindars? At a particular land, zamindar was the zamindar act as the police of that area. Zamindar act as the administration of that area, and he is also acts as a revenue collector. So yeah, Zamindar performs all these three functions, and what he basically gets, like supposedly for example, there is a field, and everyone knows that there will be production of 6,000 kg of wheat. Okay, so now what will happen? The 10%, which will be around 60 kg of wheat. No, 60 will be one. Na? Yes, 600 kg. 600 kg of wheat will be given to Zamindar, in which he will get his salary. So these were the mechanism which was there introduced at that time of Aurangzeb. So yeah, Zamindar was given their salary in this means. Who can be Zamindar? Zamindar is a very hereditary post. Like suppose someone's father is Zamindar, so his son will be also Zamindar. Uh, there were claims. He had his claims on the production. He doesn't have his ownership. This was a very much important point which we need to discuss. Like zamindars don't belong. There was no ownership of zamindar in these lands. He has just claims. Like he has a minor share in it. Okay, so you can understand this about zamindar. Okay, I guess this was clear to all of you. What is the Zamindar system, what happened to the Mansabdari system. I think these all things were clear. Okay, so whatever we have discussed regarding the Aurangzeb regime is very much clear to all of you. And if you have some doubts in any topic, you may give your doubt in the comment section. I will be answering each and every comment. So there won't be the case that someone doubts will be missing. I will discuss each and everyone's doubt. Okay. Yeah. So moving on to the reasons or declination that were happened in the later Mughals. Okay, so yeah, first of all we are going to discuss later because in deep detail. So I that time also we will understand why there was decline. But just to get something in brief, there was law of succession. No, the law of succession was not that proper. Like if someone is a king and his son will rule, so it was very much not clear which son will, because there were many sons of a single father. So the law of succession was not very much clear. The rulers were weak. Okay, and the empire was very vast, so because and it was very much tough for these weak rulers, because the law of succession was not defined. And suppose he became the king, so now it is the job of these both princes to kill him and become king. So at that time, because of this, the rule of certain rulers was just 1 to 2 years or 2 to 4 years. So as you can say, the rulers were weak, and their empire was very vast, and it was not in the control of these weak rulers to rule this vast empire of Mughal Empire. So yeah, this was also the reason of decline of the Mughal Empire. So are we clear with this? Okay. And yeah, the faction in nobles we will understand in the later Mughal sections. Like there were nobles which were behind each and every king has their own nobles in his party, so which supports him, and the other prince was supported by some other nobles. And the nobles, basically it was in the hand of nobles to decide which person is going to rule. So it was there was regional aspirations. All these Marathas, Rajputs, Sikhs, they were against him, against the later Mughals. Yeah. So I have explained the Aurangzeb part in very much detail. I haven't explained you the laws of succession. I haven't explained you much about the later Mughals, because our next chapter is all about later Mughals. We'll discuss who the rulers were and how the nobles. I have just explained you the single terms. I just explained the single terms, but we can only see in detail how these nobles were there. So at that later Mughals times, nobles was like the playmaker. They were defining who will rule and who will not. So there were different parties. There was Turani party, there was Irani party, there was Deccan party, there was Hindustani party, Afghani party. These are the different parties which were deciding, like, okay, so if I'm supporting King A, he will rule, and if Irani party wants King B to be the ruler, he he and King he and the King B will try to kill King A, and then Irani party will stand for King B to become the ruler. So these things were going on at that time. So we will discuss about these things details, like to whom ruler, which party was supporting which ruler. So we'll discuss all these things in very much detail in the next lecture. Okay. So, and we can say that these were the disputes which were happening at that time. So yeah, we will also discuss this in very much details. So I think when it comes to decline of later Mughals, these were points which are very much sufficient, and I just want you to discuss and revise these lectures as much any times possible, as we completed the later Mughals, uh, or you can say after the completion of later Mughals, and we will do one more topic called Marathas and the rest of the rulers, and in that way we will be able to finish our what we will be able to finish our house one. And after completion of house one, I will have a one shot live lecture in which we will discuss all these things in a single lecture. And via the live lecture, I will able to take all your doubts at the time. It will be a accumulation of a revision lecture plus a doubt session. So learn all these things, write all these things, practice all these things, draw all these things, and come for that lecture in which you will take your doubts. So yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.